The very first episode of Let's Build Jurassic Park. As you can see in this episode, we're going to build the incredible gates which function as the entrance to the grand tour of the park. So guys, without further ado, we might as well begin. Now, like all of the starts of my series, the landscape is never perfect. I can never seem to find just the perfect area in Minecraft to build what I want to build. So with the magic of World Edit, I completely demolish the landscape and refine it and tweak it to my own needs and then start to build. And what I start here with is basically the simple stuff, kind of a way to judge how I'm going to build the whole gateway. So I start off with that classic track that the automated cars run down through the park. And I started with this because I wanted to be able to build the gate around the track and make sure nothing would be overlapping, it all worked in a certain space. So I build this quite nice looking track, a little bit more intricate than what you see in the films. In the films it's just kind of a dirt road with a metal stripe down the middle. So I kind of took a bit of kind of my own vision into what I think this gate looks like as well, because like with the Lord of the Rings builds and all that kind of stuff, Jurassic Park is actually a book. A lot of people don't seem to know that, but Jurassic Park is actually a book, and with that I like to be able to think I can take a lot of interpretation into what the film did and what the book describes. So I start building this huge gate. Again, starting with the simple processes, just creating these huge stone triangles really that I can then start building and developing detail off and building the shape out from. This is a series I've wanted to do actually for a very, very long time, and this is because in my previous builds I built a lot of medieval castle type things, and that kind of restrained me to one sort of design style. However, what's interesting about Jurassic Park is the fact that it's very modern, it's very sleek, it's very minimal, and I thought it was just a good opportunity to explore that kind of design style within the functions of Minecraft. And of course I've then obviously amplified this a little bit with using obviously shaders packs and that kind of stuff just to make Minecraft as pretty as possible. So as you can see me here, I'm just carrying on building that original template, kind of building in the nice arc for where obviously the text is going to go, which is obviously problematic, but I'll get to that later. So this is where the text is going to be, and then I feel like I'm getting the overall shape. I'm kind of making a little bit that kind of sticks off the bottom here. Because if you imagine the words Jurassic Park, the park actually could sit beneath it. So that's kind of what that's kind of my thought process here, is where could this go on the actual sign. So kind of continuing using these obviously upside down stairs to smoothen that shape off until I feel I've got it as minimal as possible really. I didn't want it to be too extrusive, I wanted it just to look nice and smooth, and I think from here I've got that. So we kind of then start looking towards it, and I kind of do a few more little edits, kind of move it aside a little bit and start now thinking where can this go. So I start building up a bit of a dimension to it. Again, this is another set of kind of visual interpretation, because in the film again it's just a big flat grey block. Production styles back in the 90s, they didn't have the big extravagant budgets. Well, they had big budgets, but the whole vision wasn't quite as extreme as we see in films nowadays. So I'm kind of applying that to my own style with building this out and having it, instead of being just one block wide, instead I'm having it 3. Again, implementing steps to keep that nice kind of rigid architecture, something that looks like it could actually stand this tall with a nice base at the bottom, and then just obviously mirroring each style between the two sides. And now I start working on those big wooden doors, and with these wooden doors I could actually art back to the styles from those original castle series I did, because in the castle series I built those huge great halls, and the great halls obviously came accompanied with those big wooden doors. So I feel in Minecraft I've had quite a big bit of practice in building quite large scale wooden sculptures, and we're using stuff like ladders and then different variants of wood. I feel like you can build quite an effective looking huge door. Now this series again is not going to be a one-off. I'm not just building this gate and then finishing. No, this series will continue. I'm going to try and focus each episode on a different part of the park and see where it can go from there. I'm not saying I'm going to build the whole park, but I feel I'm going to build all those iconic landmarks you'd expect to see in a series, all while running up to that fantastic Jurassic World. And possibly when Jurassic World comes out, I can maybe kind of tweak some designs and make something towards that film as well. So as you can see here, I'm just refining this door style using, instead of just normal fences, I tried the netherrack ones. However, I felt they didn't work. They looked a bit too dark against the door compared to the wood, so I reapplied them with the normal wooden fences, and then obviously repeated it on the other side just to give it that overall, like, obviously there needs to be a sense of continuity. I've got to have it like both sides exactly the same because of Minecraft's limitations. I couldn't have one door slightly crooked open and the other one closed. I needed them both to look exact, so I kind of replicate that whole effect and add in those fences there just to add that extra bit of depth and detail. Because of these shaders I've got applied, if you have a fence layered over the wood like I did there on the outside of the doors, it also not only has the fence but then the shadow of that fence, which adds a really nice effect. So this was obviously something I added. Now what's also iconic and obviously problematic for this particular build was those iconic flaming kind of struts that come out the side of the door. Because of the limitations of the 1x1 block meter squares of Minecraft, these flames I designed originally looked way too bulky. So after zooming out there and looking at it, I thought, no, we need to refine this idea. So I zoomed back in and actually apply some trapdoors to it, something just to kind of give it a bit of depth, a bit of detail, however not extruding it from the gate too much. So I try this idea and zoom out again, and then I realise it's too short. So I then heighten it, and then in replace of struts down the whole side, you can see I've just used standard Minecraft torches on an upside down stair. And I did this because I've had to cut a lot of footage there. As I'm just adding the detail in here of the title, I've had to I redid the torches once again there using obviously the cobblestone decoration, and I used those because of the bulkiness of Minecraft, I couldn't build very good torches out of netherrack as I'd expect to, just because of the whole bulkiness it created. It just didn't look good. And then again, because of the limited of lettering within the game, I couldn't do Jurassic Park either. I had to settle with the red and yellow blocks, like in that kind of style, to kind of make up for the fact that I couldn't do what I wanted to do. But overall, I think I've got to a stage in which I'm incredibly happy with the design. I've added in those vegetations to the side, and overall I think this looks like an incredibly good representation of the gate itself. And as I said, guys, this is the only first episode of Jurassic Park. I'm going to carry on, and in the next episode I think I'm going to focus on the Velociraptor hatchery. So guys, look out for that next episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.